Welcome, NFL World, where NFL starts and ends. I'm your host, Jacob. And to begin, we start with what news that just happened a couple of minutes ago. The Jets have opened Aaron Rodgers' 21-day practice window. Now, a lot has been said about this. Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and said, look, it all depends on whether or not the Jets are still in it for a playoff run and if I feel I can do it. Now, right now, if I have the numbers down correctly, the Jets are 4-7, if I remember correctly. That's not ideal. 4-7, 4-8. When everyone else in that, let me pull it up here for the playoff picture for the AFC side, so I can see this. So, right here for the AFC, the Colts are 7th with 6-5. Houston and Denver are also 6-5. And then it's Buffalo at 6-6, followed by the Raiders at 5-7. Bengals are 5-6. Chargers, Titans, and Jets are all 4-7. So what I'm saying is it's going to be hard. You're going to need a lot to go your way, such as winning 2 games and everyone else losing 2 games. You don't have the tiebreaker over the Bills. So, can you beat Miami, beat New England, and then have everyone else lose? Can they lose 2 games? I don't know. Possibly. So you're not out of it statistically. The Jets' next opponent is Atlanta. Houston might be able to take out Denver, which we will talk about that game in a little bit. But what do you guys think of the Jets opening the 21-day practice window for Aaron Rodgers? And to be fair, you don't have to practice all 21 days. You're just able to practice 21 days. The team can activate you at any time. Whether it's been a week, 4 days, whatever, or exactly 21 days, it doesn't matter. They can do it any time. They could also choose to not do it. Next up, the Patriots and the Saints have open have had tryouts for kickers. This starts with Patriots hold kicker tryouts after rookie Chad Ryland's missed game-tying field goal against the Giants last weekend. But among all 32 kickers, Ryland has the second lowest conversion rate at 66.7 with 10 or more field goal attempts. Ryland has not been good. Let's put it that way. Not been good. He's missed a lot. He missed a 35-yarder in Frankfurt. The last Frankfurt game, he missed a 35-yarder. He's missed quite a bit this year. And this was a game-tying field goal. Now, a lot has come out and said, well, the Patriots shouldn't have been in that position. They should have tried to go for the win. I understand that. I get it. But you don't trust the quarterback that you have. So you think, okay, if we get it to overtime, maybe we can get back down here. But that seemed pretty you were assuming a lot for that. Now, the thing for Belichick is he's always had a good kicker. This is just not the case. Ryland was the only kicker, or the second highest kicker drafted, only behind the 49ers' Jake Moody. Only Graham Gano, who was worse this year. And Graham Gano's on IR. Belichick went and said Chad's a very talented player on WEEI in Boston, but this is 2 weeks in a row where he's basically missed extra points. It's not good enough. The Patriots brought in 5 kickers on Tuesday to work out, with it being Matthew McCrane, Tanner Brown, John Parker BT Potter, and Parker White. However, Ryland has appeared to hold on to the job entering week 13. Belichick said he's on the roster. 4. He's on our roster, so he's the kicker. But I think the Patriots are starting to have enough with what's going on. Now, for the Saints, let me make sure I have it here. Right here. It says the Saints are working out Mason Crosby and other kickers after Blake Gruby deals with groin issue. Crosby's the big name. He hasn't kicked since March. Mason Crosby was the kicker, along with Taylor Bertoil and James McCourt. Neither of those have kicked in a regular season game. So it's probably a fair assumption that if it does extend, it's probably going to be Mason Crosby. That will be in New Orleans. And Mason's still able to kick. It's just, I don't know. There seems to be a lot more questions in New Orleans right now. Moving on to Colts Jonathan Taylor has a thumb injury that requires surgery, and so he will miss some time. He'll miss 2 to 3 weeks, at which point we'll see where the Colts are at. The Colts are the 7th seed at 6-5. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 6-5. Next up, we go to the Broncos. The Broncos safety, Kareem Jackson, he's going to meet with Roger Goodell about his latest suspension. The NFL, and this really started in the NBA with the late great David Stern. He would call players and say, "Hey, come up to the league office. We're going to discuss this. We're going to explain what's going on, why this is happening, what you have to do so you don't get into these situations. That's basically what they're doing, and it is smart. The commissioner is expected to meet with Jackson on today, on Wednesday. Moving on to Deshaun Jackson has decided to retire as an Eagle before the 49ers game. The wide receiver played 8 years with the Eagles. Deshaun has also bounced around with Washington, was with Tampa, went back to the Eagles, went to the Raiders, last year with Baltimore, and now he has retired. A couple of months ago, Jackson was saying how that news were going to happen with the Eagles and Cowboys, and he had little emojis of an eagle and a dude with a cowboy hat on, and nothing came of it after that. So now he has retired as a Philadelphia Eagle, where he does belong. Next up, the next up, Shaquille Leonard, who became a free agent last week. He had his meeting with the Cowboys on Tuesday, according to Jordan Schultz. He had a successful meeting with the Cowboys, is going to go visit with the Philadelphia Eagles this week, and will make his decision up over the weekend prior to the Cowboys and Eagles actually facing each other. So, and the weird thing, everyone said, well, because the Eagles do need linebacker help. Zach Cunningham with a hamstring issue. We'll see if he goes this week against the 49ers. The answer is I don't know. He apparently, according to Michael Gelkin, a couple hours later said that the expectation was that he was going to go visit the Cowboys and then go visit the Eagles. It was just, did the Cowboys make their side more attractive than the Eagles? Now, money is not the issue. Leonard is getting paid by the Colts for the remainder of the year, so he'll probably sign vet minimum. So money's not the issue. Playing time is the issue, I think, which the Cowboys, it's really not their issue. It's a depth issue. They don't have a lot of depth at their linebacker position. The Eagles, he would probably be their second best linebacker. So there's an issue with that. Another issue is, what if, like, if you're the Cowboys, and I was thinking about this last night, what if you're the Cowboys and you say, man, we'll let him go, and he makes a key tackle or he punches the football out when you're on a game-winning drive and you lose the game because of him? Could you live with that? I don't think Jerry Jones can. So it's not a thing about money. I think it's about, he's not the same guy, but he can still make those key plays. He's nicknamed the Maniac for a reason because he makes these key plays. Whenever you think he can't, he does. So can the Cowboys live with not having him? I'm sure there's both players on the Cowboys and on the Eagles saying, "Man, come over here. Come, it's great. It's great. We're gonna go win a Super Bowl here." I'm sure of it. Which side is he listening to is the real question. And finally, the previews of Week 13. So we first begin with the Seahawks at the Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored by 9. I have the Cowboys winning 35-10 in this game. I just think this is a tough 3 games for the Seahawks. You face San Francisco twice, and you face Dallas. And then after you face Philadelphia, that's tough 4 games, really. So you face San Francisco twice, you face Dallas, and you face Philadelphia. You go San Francisco home for San Francisco on Thanksgiving, on the road against Dallas, on the road against San Francisco, and then I think you're back home for Philadelphia. That's a tough schedule. That's very tough. So let's see what happens, but I do think the Cowboys go on the road and go and play and win their 14th consecutive home game. I think Seattle going on the road, it's just going to be too much for them. I think Dallas is a way better football team. I will make note, I don't know about if Kenneth Walker is going to play in this game. It could be Charbonnet and Dallas in the backfield for the Seattle Seahawks. Next up, Broncos versus Texans. Did anyone expect this to be on in a video this week or even this year? No. Denver's won 5 in a row. They're not going to win 6 in a row. Texans, I have the Texans winning. The Texans are by 3.5. It's a home game. I get it. Texans win. They don't cover. It's a 27-24. Texans will have a new kicker. They waive Matt Amendola. And so the new kicker, I don't exactly know who their new kicker is, but they win 27-24. Next up, Browns versus Rams. Rams favored by 3.5. I'm taking the Rams on this one. I don't know if Dorian Thompson-Robinson is playing. I think he'll play if he can. He's in concussion protocol. I got the Rams winning this. I got them winning 28-14. The Rams roll in this game, and they start finding their way back into the playoff picture for the NFC. Final game, 49ers at Eagles. The Eagles are underdogs in this game, plus 2.5. That means Vegas, and they're not that set on the Eagles at this point. I have the Niners winning this game 31-20. I keep, and no one says this in the media, I keep falling to this part of what if the Eagles look like they did against the Chiefs and the Bills in the first half, they'll lose. Because the 49ers arguably have the best fun in football on the defensive side and on the offensive side. You can make that argument as well. And then you have a tough defense the next week against the Cowboys. Both those teams can blow you out, can beat you very easily if you allow them to. Like, they can. They're that good. And if you allow San Francisco to dictate the pace of the game, they'll beat you. They'll beat you. So, and this tells me that this is going to be a fun game, I think. It's also going to be a grueling game for both sides. I think the Eagles, I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco starts slow in this game, just being very antsy. This is what happened in the NFC Championship game. We didn't have a quarterback. Now we do. I want to see how this game looks. I will make note, don't rule out Lane Johnson or Dallas Goedert in this game. I also would not push them to do it. If I was the Eagles, I would rather have them for Dallas and say, "Oh, come back in this game, get re-injured, and now you can't finish the game, and you'll miss the game against Dallas." That can't happen either. But I have the 49ers winning 31-20 in a game against the Eagles. And that is our picks for Week 13. Let me know in the comments who you would pick in the games that we have selected. But NFL World, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.